Deadheads, a supplementary podcast.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Deadheads. Yes, you heard that right. This is not Dead Air, a horror podcast. This is Deadheads. This is a new format, and this is going to be super fun. We're kind of experimenting with things. This is going to be one of the first things that we kind of tweak in the coming months, and this is going to be a really, really cool format. I believe anyway. And well, first of all, this is Chris Costello. This is one of your hosts, but for Deadheads, we have 3 new hosts. But before I introduce them, I'm going to give you a quick kind of brief on what Deadheads is about. So Dead Air, the horror podcast, was started about a year ago. And it's been super fun, you know. But the best thing about the whole thing was it not just the podcast itself was also building the Facebook community. And if you aren't a member of Dead Air, a horror fan group on Facebook, please join right now. But anyway, so out of that community, we've had 3 very, very vocal members. And you know, internally we decided we were like, you know what, why don't we just kind of mix things up. I mean, like the fan group on Facebook has been so integral to the whole community, everything about the podcast. So we're like, you know, it'll be so much fun if we involve people from the Facebook group into the podcast. And we kind of decided on this concept, which is creating this sub podcast of the Dead Air main podcast, and we're calling it Deadheads. And it stars 3 of our most vocal members of the Facebook group. And we kind of came up with a short concept. You know, if the main podcast is inviting a guest on who brings us their favorite horror film, this is slightly different. Our thing is now Deadheads is about the 3 members talking about critiquing or whatever, you know, loving or hating a current horror movie. Current meaning a horror movie that was released in 2021. So this is what it's going to be. This is the entire concept. Is we've got 3 members of the community, and they're going to be discussing a current horror movie released in 2021, and it's going to be a monthly episode. But yeah, so that's it. That's the entire concept. And then I've been talking too much, so let's introduce the 3 new hosts of Deadheads, a sub-horror podcast. So please introduce yourself first.
Hi, hello everyone. I am Emil. I'm glad to be here. And I am your casual horror fan all the way from A Nightmare on Elm Street until The Army of the Dead. I watch any horror film out there. I try to at least. And my favorite out of all the films I've watched would probably be Hereditary from A24. So that's me. And again, I'm glad to be here, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Sorry, is it my turn?
Yep, it is. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Franny, and again, thanks also for having me here. I've been a horror fan since I was raised in Catholic school. I had a traumatic experience with death, so it led me to become fascinated with the topic of death and dying. Hence, I got into horror, and because of that, my favorite horror movie is The Others. And I'm excited to be here tonight to discuss another movie. Thank you.
Awesome. Now let's jump to our 3rd co-host.
Hey everyone. This is Anthony. My horror history has been really erratic. I started my penchant for horror movies when, during those video rental days, I always go to the horror section when most people go to the drama and the romance section of the video house. Then I've been watching horror movies since I was in high school, sometime around 2000s. My favorite film, it varies. Depende talaga. But for now, I think it's Dead Ringers by David Cronenberg.
Ooh, wow! That's super fun because those were 3 very different answers. So if you guys are a member of the Facebook group, I'm sure you have seen these guys on a number of posts. So for sure, you guys know. I mean, you know them by name. Now you can actually hear them. I think it's gonna be super interesting because all three are obviously very massive horror fans, but they've got very varied tastes so far from what I know. And I think it's gonna be really, really fun, kind of using this sub podcast as kind of like a way to talk about horror films and hearing whatever they think about everything, because again, they've been very vocal on the Facebook group. Why not hear them, like literally hear them? So this is going to be super fun. And so like I said, this is going to be a monthly thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about one current horror movie per month. And for this month, we have chosen the title Wrong Turn 2021.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, that's the film. Wrong Turn 2021. If you know, I mean, obviously, it's not a remake. It's a reboot of the early 2000s film starring Elizabeth Dushku. So cute, by the way. But yeah, Wrong Turn. Is like 2 decades old, maybe. Yeah. But so
almost.
And this reboot just came out a few months ago. So we're going to start off with that. And we really want to hear what these three guys think about it. So first of all, like in the main podcast, we kind of start off with someone kind of giving a synopsis. Does anyone here want to give like a quick synopsis into Wrong Turn 2021? Or should I call someone, like a teacher?
Oh no! Go ahead.
Got it. Okay, I'm calling Emil.
Okay.
Emil, do it.
Okay, so from what I remember, there were 6 friends, 6 millennials who decide to go on this hiking trip. They go to the Appalachian Trails, and of course, like what the title suggests, they take a wrong turn, unfortunately, and they encounter gruesome events. And all because of their experience with this foundation or this group of people living inside the forest. I don't want to say anything anymore because it might spoil a lot of things. So that's basically the gist of The Wrong Turn 2021.
Very nice. Franny and Anthony, what do you think of Emil's recap? Does it pass?
Yep. Very comprehensive.
Yeah, very nice.
Well said.
I agree.
Well said.
I agree.
Well said.
Well said. Okay, so first off, I want to think what you guys think of the comparison between the original movie and this one. First of all, let's start with that. Okay, why don't we go like who likes the original movie more than this one before we go into the nitty gritty?
Okay, I remember watching the very first film, and what I remember is that there were cannibals, and they were the main antagonists of Wrong Turn. For that, I actually enjoyed it because I'm a huge gore fan as well. And I enjoyed all these violent, gruesome deaths in the film. And when I watched Wrong Turn 2021, there were these same violent deaths, of course, but the cannibals were long gone. Instead, they were just another group, another bunch of human beings who are the antagonists of this film. And for me, I guess that is one major difference that made Wrong Turn 2021 a bit striking for me.
Got it. Wait, I want to make it clear. Franny, so you haven't seen the first one, right?
No, I haven't, but I kind of read about it.
Awesome. Okay, so maybe we'll end with you.
Okay.
Because it's really cool that you don't have that like bias
background.
of that's actually really interesting enough. So why don't we jump to you, Anthony? What do you think of like comparing the two movies? What do you think?
To me, Wrong Turn 21 is a blasphemous attempt to, to reinvent the whole cannibal trope. I mean, people were expecting a cannibal movie, and then I just wish the Wrong Turn removed the name Wrong Turn.
Yes.
And instead just make it the foundation. It would have been a different movie. The bad thing about the movie is that it tries to pull off a Suspiria 2018 by trying to be coherent with the plot, but it fails in the end. So to me, that was the biggest mistake of the movie. Instead, they should have named it The Foundation in the first place. That's all.
Interesting. Okay, so the three of us kind of get that because, I mean, honestly, for me, like it's so different from the original movie because again, like both of you said, no, it's about fucking. The first movie is about fucking faceless cannibals. Like there's no fucking like backstory or anything.
That's true.
It's just the fucking cannibals killing tourists, or redneck cannibals killing tourists. But that's so
And
different
there's
from it's so different from this one. This one, like, they really changed the entire thing. So that's why I'm so interested in hearing what Franny has to say, having zero background into the first movie. So, what are your first impressions, Franny?
Yeah. So based on what you guys were saying about the first film being about cannibals, it sounds like it sounds similar to what I'd imagine. I mean, it sounds similar to what like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I mean, I'm just guessing, right, from the original Wrong Turn. So with that knowledge, watching the one that we just saw for the year, I kind of like the fact that they took a wrong turn, so to speak, from that because of the genre that it turned into. I kind of like the folk horror vibe, but maybe we can delve more into that.
That's
after.
exactly what that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, I think people who have seen the first movie and people who watched this one for the first time have really, really different opinions about it. Because I don't know what I would think if I had not seen the first movie. Like, I really, for me, like, I really like the faceless, no background, no backstory threat, like of the first movie. But like, this movie is like pretty intricate in the backstory and everything. So I really wonder how people like Franny who saw this one without seeing the first one feel about it. Because again, like, I appreciate how much backstory they put into it. What do you guys think about that? Like Emil and Anthony.
Yeah, I kind of appreciate how Mike P. Nelson did with the backstory and the plot. I think that's one of the best aspects of the movie. Again, as I've said, I just wish that it wasn't named Wrong Turn because people would come in the theater thinking that, oh, it's the 7th Wrong Turn movie, when in fact it's the first of its own. So its attachment to the Wrong Turn was its biggest mistake. Although I kind of appreciate the cast. Although there's another problem with movies like this because they give more focus on the final girl. We already know who the final girl is. It's Jen. And then they kind of put a little emphasis on the side characters, but eventually, as we go through the second act, I mean, all goes to waste. And it's more on Jen's story, Jen and her father. So unlike the other Wrong Turn, the first Wrong Turn, when the first thing that I saw in the movie was Eliza Dushku. I mean, come on. And then there's no backstory. There's no intricate plots. It's B-movie madness. And that's why we love that movie.
Yeah, that's really cool. Totally agree with you, by the way. I for me, as someone who has seen the first movie, I also think that the title Wrong Turn might have hurt it. Because if it was titled something else, I honestly think I might have enjoyed it more. That's why I'm so interested in how the three of you kind of see it. Because when I was telling the concept to my wife, she thought it was pretty cool. The concept of the new movie, okay? Not the first one. And then she was like, wow, that's kind of interesting. I mean, like, it's like this like sect of people who are like obsessed with the founding fathers and they didn't want, any association with the modern world. And then they have their own society. That's kind of interesting, honestly. It really is. So I think the title Wrong Turn affected the story negatively because people who saw the first movie came into this one thinking that they would see fucking redneck cannibals, and they got like this like intricate backstory of like these guys who are they're not even rednecks, right? I shouldn't even call them rednecks. They're just like
they're civilized in their own way, and I think that's like
civilized
one of the
rednecks.
points of the movies.
Yeah. So like it's so interesting. Like at what point should you judge a movie based on its own merits but when it's like using a franchise title, it's so hard. Like, you know what I mean? What do you think about this, Emil?
First of all, I agree. I appreciate the fact that the antagonist in this film is more complex, more complicated. I believe the main villain, quote unquote villain, is Venable. I think his name is Venable, and he again leads this foundation who believe that they are the starting point of a new America when the old America begins to go into shambles, or to if America is destroyed, and they believe they're the ones who will begin the new kind of America. And for me, having known this, it's interesting because you're not just seeing these bad guys kill and eat these tourists, these hikers. You actually see them try to interact with them, and this actually shows two extremes in the film. We've got these youngsters at the far side of the spectrum who are, I think, liberals. They're woke. They're a group of woke millennials. And then they're up against this society that's traditional, who have their own set of rules. And it's a clash. And this clash, I believe, is what makes Wrong Turn 2021 interesting. But given that, you're correct, it should have not used the name, because I believe they used the name just like a cash grab or something to get fans of the old franchise to come in. But I feel like it's a betrayal to them, and they should have just called this a different thing, like The Foundation or something else. Yeah, like what Anthony said.
Okay, interesting. Okay, now I'm going to ask the three of you to kind of forget about Wrong Turn, the franchise. How did this work as a horror film? Maybe we can start off with Franny.
Okay. So I came in with zero expectations because I am not necessarily a fan of the original Wrong Turn genre. Because I assumed that it's like a slasher film through and through, right? More on the gore rather than the story. So I was expecting that, something like that, when I started watching Wrong Turn 2021 ba? Or
yeah. 2021.
Okay.
So when I started watching it, obviously, like everyone in this room, I hated the hipsters, the millennials, the woke people, right? I found it.
Who doesn't?
I was astonished to find that I was siding with the rednecks more than the millennials, right?
It's not their fault.
Yeah, the movie actually made us viewers root for the inbred hillbillies, and they seem to have more sense in their heads than these disrespectful entitled millennials who started like having their way in the bar and disrespecting everyone, right?
Yeah,
so it was like the fate.
I mean, fuck Gen Z, right?
Right? it made me feel like
Gen Z listeners.
Yeah.
I mean, no,
Well,
Gen Z listeners, I love you all.
So it's like their deaths all started becoming so justified when they started.
That is true.
Meeting their fate in the woods, like one by one, like with that log roll. I mean, sorry to give spoilers, but
no, it's okay. Go ahead with spoilers. We're okay.
Yeah, so that part was already a bit entertaining for me because it's like you're watching a comedy na lang, right? And then when it started having that whole twist, I was really pleasantly surprised because I really like had no idea that if that was the kind of plot that the original film had. So if it was, then I was already thinking in my head, wow, I really like this. I mean, of course, the horror elements, the gore, it was stupid at times with like the eye gouging part and stuff, and the time jumps didn't seem to make that much sense to me when Jen was already released or like captive for a long time. Like, how long was her dad looking for her that she knew the language already, right?
Oh my God.
Like,
yes. I
Like some inconsistencies with the time. But other than that, the ending that teases you into thinking that something is gonna go this way, I really enjoyed, because for me, like, I wasn't expecting twists like that. And I love the concept of abduction. So
sure,
that was fun for me. Just for what it's worth. Those
Yeah.
things were what I enjoyed about the movie.
Yeah. How about you guys? If didn't know about Wrong Turn, the franchise, how did this work as a horror film? Who wants to start? Anthony, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. Well, have I not watched the other 6 Wrong Turn films? This would have been a good film. Well, given that my opinion would be pretty biased because I love the other 6 Wrong Turn films, regardless of how shitty the
Oh
other
my
5
God, there were
films are.
6?
Yeah. There was
I've
a
only
6th film. Yeah, there was
Holy
a 6th
crap, I've
film.
only seen 2.
It was like softcore porn, to be honest.
Whoa. Okay. Yes, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay. But anyway, yeah. It would have been a good film, to be
Everyone
honest.
was shocked and was like, it's softcore porn. I was like, start Googling
Yeah,
Wrong
start
Turn
Googling
4.
Wrong Turn 6.
Download softcore porn.
Yeah, but anyway, it would have been a good film. The plot was there. The plot direction was there. But again, with a good plot direction and good plot comes with bad decisions. There were a lot of bad decisions made on the film. Like one of them was like the other girl, Mila. She, instead of going to her friends, she just hid in the bushes and waited until then. I mean, that was a bad decision. I mean, given that I think she was a doctor or a medical student, I guess. Yeah,
Mhm.
she would have went to her friends on like in an instant. And then but it's pretty much about Jen's story, to be honest. I want to see side characters having, character development in a horror story. And with how Wrong Turn 2021 tries to portray, they're giving us a hope that, we should give a little, entry to the side characters. And then the moment that we see Mila to her death, and then the moment we see Adam to his death, there's no character development. I guess the character development is that all of these side characters get killed. So it's more of Jen's story. Unlike with the other Wrong Turn films, we see survivors aside from the final girl. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. So
Nice. Emil?
Yeah, for me, I enjoyed actually the latter part of the film because for me, it sort of became a survival horror / revenge thriller when Jen tries to escape. And that's a genre that I particularly like as well. So it was really enjoyable seeing Jen being all invincible, knowing all these kills already, killing everyone left and right, together with her dad. And until the end, when they have this final encounter with Venable at her home. And I really enjoyed that part because I love senseless violence and gore, like what I mentioned before. And Wrong Turn 2021 delivers. And I like the parting shot where Jen escapes from the RV and just kills everyone and starts walking towards the camera with the little girl. I believe her name is Ruthie. Yeah. And almost like setting up a sequel of sorts. Like Jen is about to face off with the rest of the foundation. Something like that.
Dude, I must say that was easily my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
Like that long shot and the truck stops and she gets out and starts walking. It's like, yes! I wish it was more like this.
Yeah.
Satisfying, yeah.
So satisfying.
For Wrong Turn 2024, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe. If you were to pitch this movie to your friends, how would you say it? Like, I mean, like you can be negative, you can be positive or whatever. Just give us like a quick wrap up. How would you think of your best friend and then tell us what you would say to him or her about this movie. So, okay, Anthony, let's do it.
Okay. So guys, there's a new Wrong Turn film, and then it's called The Foundation. I don't want to spoil the details, but the plot is pretty cohesive. Just don't expect too much, especially if you're a fan of the first 6 films. That's all.
Awesome. Franny, any kind of wrap-up words on Wrong Turn?
Okay, so if you want to see annoying millennials die, and if you want another refreshing take on folk horror that will remind you of, like, let's say The Wicker Man or Apostle by Gareth Evans.
The Village.
The Village, yes. I love those kinds of movies with special communities that you won't forget if you become a part of or like find yourself in deep with, sorry, I'm losing myself. If you find yourself in, so you should, it's worth a try.
First of all, I would just want to say before you jump on, Emil, like those are the best words to, if you want anyone to watch this movie, is you just lead it with, if you want to see annoying millennials die. Like, how can you? Those are the best. That's the best description. If you want anyone to watch this movie, that's it. Those are the lines.
True.
Emil, any wrap-up words for Wrong Turn 2021?
As for me, Wrong Turn 2021, no cannibals here, just one kick-ass woman.
Yeah.
That's all, yeah.
Very cool. Fuck yeah! Wow, that was fun, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Wow, we
like,
did.
I really enjoyed that. So for everyone listening, all our 5 listeners, this was the first episode of Deadheads. Again, this is going to be a recurring thing.
Wow.
We're going to be doing this every single month. We're going to be reviewing one horror film that was released in 2021, and we're going to have these 3 guys talk about it. And at the end, we're going to have a wrap-up episode, and we're gonna vote on our best and worst films of the year. So yeah, that was
exciting.
a fun experiment,
yes.
and that was so fun. Like, first of all, guys, this is the first time I've seen everyone on screen. Like, I've not met anyone in person. I think I've met Franny once. But you, Emil, and Anthony, no, like, so this is all new to me as well. So this was an experience. This was so fun. So again, I just want to thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you also for having us. It was amazing. Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
A lot of fun.
Chris.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
I can't wait for our next film.
What is our next?
We're gonna have a Telegram group where we kind of deliberate on what film they will choose for the next one, and that's gonna be super fun. So
Can we vote?
We're definitely gonna vote.
Yes,
absolutely. So thank you again, guys. That was fun, and I'll see you next month. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yay, see you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Deadheads, a supplementary podcast.